Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2014, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. When I looked at the sky for you this month where it came to love, I thought about this notion of how we actually define love. What is it that love actually means? So for some people, and I think really culturally, expansively, really, and historically as well, when we look at the things that poets talk about and the things that are sort of made movies about, love tends to be strongly associated with a rush of emotion, sometimes a rush of adrenaline as well, and tends to be associated with desire and with attraction, even with lust. But that isn't necessarily what love has to be. Love ultimately is how you define it. And this is part of the learning for you this month. What I'm seeing happen for you is there's an attraction. It does look very, very clear that there is at least one object of affection. Now, what you do with that is going to be completely up to you. But it does look like the possibility of you sort of having this rush of emotion, having these feelings is very strong. And then you're kind of left with, okay, so what does this mean? And having to look at that. Now, for some of you, you're not going to want to look at that. I am seeing at least a portion of you out there that say, you know what, just don't think, just do, don't think. And that's your right. You don't have to think if you don't want to think, because it will be very alluring to get caught up in at least one very notable moment. But having said that, there's also the very strong possibility, the very strong hope that whatever it is that you feel, when you feel this rush of emotion, you are able to acknowledge where maybe there's some fear of trusting it, or where maybe you are using this feeling as an excuse in order to sort of divert your attention from where maybe love that is based on friendship and based on connection, more genuine connection, may be lacking. And so there becomes this interesting dichotomy between you wanting that and yet you labeling that as superficial, and then having to look at why that would be superficial, but also if you think that's superficial, what is it that wouldn't be? What is it that would be more real? What is it that would be more satisfying? So let me break this down based on your circumstances. If you are in an established bond, then chances are, because it does look like an attraction could be there, and that in turn is going to lead you to really look at why is it that all of a sudden your attention is being distracted from the person who's been there, the person whom you feel a strong commitment to. And that's where your learning is. Your feelings are there. They are triggered for your learning. What you do with them is always up to you, is always up to you. Now, for those of you who are not in an established bond, then chances of a scenario coming up where, again, it does seem to be a very strong attraction there, and you're going to have to make a choice whether or not to pursue it. Another way that this tends to manifest as well is that you feel that there should be more adrenaline and wonder why there isn't. There should be more passion, there should be more desire, there should be more lust, and wondering why that's lacking, whether it's in an established relationship or just more generally in your life. And that in turn can lead you to ask yourself some important questions as to what it is that you desire to experience more of on a level of emotion and how you can actually cultivate that. Life is going to ask you to make a plan, which seems to be very contradictory to what this whole notion of passion and desire and love and attraction is about. But ultimately, those feelings are there to trigger a deeper understanding that whatever it is you desire to feel in love or otherwise is available to you. And sometimes you may have to think it out. Sometimes you may have to get clear as to what it is exactly that you want in your love life. And for some of you, that may even be communicating that even when it's challenging to do so, but you're willing and you're open to doing the work. And especially you want to feel alive. You want to feel attraction. And that desire alone is going to ensure that you welcome some very important and notable moments in trust, in desire, in passion, and in lust. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.